Okay. So a very warm welcome to all of you. Happy to see you here Saturday morning. And also thank you in advance for our speakers being with us today. And my name is Professor Karl-Heinz Knödel. I'm president of the World Organization ISSA Construction. So we try to make the construction world better. And it's a wonderful task. This session will focus on the support of employers and employees to continuously improve health and safety at workplace, because we have to focus on both, not only the employers, but also employees. And we try to make everything in line with Vision Zero. And improving safety and health at work is has not only a positive impact on working conditions, but also an impact on productivity, an impact on economic and social development. Therefore, it's very important to focus on that. And we try to improve health and safety since 2017 via Vision Zero, this overall strategy. The start was 2017 in Singapore at the World Conference. And now it's not only a strategy, it's a movement in our world. More than 100 countries are already following Vision Zero. So, objectives of the conference today. This session is aimed to government representatives, employers, workers, occupational safety and health experts, and organizations, research institutes, universities, as well as training institutions. It pursues the goal of defining best practices in the field of occupational safety and health, as well as discussing and disseminating experiences, new approaches, and innovations. And why are we doing it? We want to achieve a reduction in the number of accidents and occupational diseases, and to come closer to the goal of Vision Zero. And I don't want to take too much time for the introduction, and I would like to give the floor to my moderator, to Mr. Neusser, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Knödel, dear Karl-Heinz. I would welcome you also very warm. I think it will be a very interesting panel here with a lot of good speakers for their themes. And in the beginning, I would like to tell you about me. I'm one of the two chairmen of the board of the GISHW. Together with my colleague, Mr. Walter Seiler, and I'm very pleased to be here to introduce the first speaker. It will be Mr. Michael Kirsch. He's the chairman, the CEO of the GISHW, and he'll tell us something about safety, health, and well-being in the construction industry in Germany. His theme is the holistic prevention approach. Please, Mr. Kirsch. Just a moment. We are recording the session, and for questions, please use the microphones in the room and ask the speakers this way, because it should be better for the recording. Thank you.
Yes, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for your invitation, Karl-Heinz. Very interesting to be here in Japan. My topic of the presentation, safety, health and well-being in the construction industry in Germany, the holistic prevention approach. Preventing occupational accidents and diseases and protecting workers at work is very important, which is the task of all of us. It's literally a matter between life and death, not just for each one of us, but also for our children, for our families, for our friends, and for our colleagues. The BGBau supports its member companies and insured individuals with a range of services, and these services form a part of holistic prevention strategy, which is the subject of my presentation here. But first, let's take a look at the latest statistic who shows the situation in the construction industry in Germany. First, every accident is one accident too many. You see the statistic in 2024 of the reportable occupational accidents, which shows the situation. We have about 92,000 reportable occupational accidents in 2024, but you see it all, the trend is actually positive. At the beginning of the 2000s, I started working at the BGBau. We still had more than 200,000 reportable accidents at work in the construction industry. However, every accident is one too many. We are all agreement on that. Another statistic in Germany is the risk of accidents is particularly high in the construction sector. The incidence and severity on accidents on the construction sector continues to be above the average of all sectors. This is particularly evident from the accidents rate per 1,000 persons. And you see the black line is the industrial sector and the blue line is the construction sector, the sector of the BGBau. And the average of rate or the construction industry is 43 and the industrial sector was 20.9. In other words, it's over double for that trade and industry as a whole. Another important statistic is the number of fatal occupational accidents. This is rising. Despite all this, people continue to die at work. In 2024, 78 workers died in occupational accidents on construction sites in Germany, 78 human destinies, 78 families who lost a dear family member, and friends and colleagues who suddenly found themselves saying farewell. Most of these accidents could have been prevented. But occupational accidents are not only the thing we need to prevent. The number of reported cases of occupational diseases also continues to rise. This rate has been rising steadily for years. Since 2019 alone, it has risen by around 25%. In 2024, for example, a total of 21,000 new suspected cases of occupational diseases were reported. For example, the noise-induced hearing impairment, approximately 5,000. Skin cancer caused by UV radiation, approximately 3,000. Lumbar spin, lifting and carrying, 2,000. Osteoarthritis of the knee, 1,750. And lung cancer in conjunction with asbestos, about 1,300. The summers are getting hotter every year, you know. What is our protection against UV radiation and heat? During the summer months, High temperatures and UV radiation pose hazards to construction industry employees. In order to reduce the number of cases, we need to educate people even more about the need for protection measures against UV radiation, and in particular how easy it is to take these measures, both at work but also at home. As part as an information campaign, the BG-Bau offers heat protection checklists and additional information on UV radiation protection. The BG-Bau offers also free sun protection kits in 2025, over 500,000 to its member companies. These contain sunscreen, a drinking bottle, and also information on UV protection. A particularly tragic accident occurred very recently during work on a bridge spanning a valley in southern Germany. The hoist cable of an aerial work platform failed as the platform was being raised. The platform and the 3 men it was carrying fell over a height of some 50 meters. The lives of the 3 men could not be saved. Initial investigation suggests human error. On that day, 3 people lost their lives suddenly, unexpectedly during their daily work. You can see it on the picture above right. They left behind them families whose world fell apart from one moment to the other. Wives, children, parents, all left to grieve. The pain, though, isn't only felt in the family. Colleagues, friends, the community below the bridge that is being built, they have all been gutted. A single occupational accident leaves deep wounds, human, emotional, and enduring. Yes, fall from a high are the huge problem in the construction sector. Together with failing and tipping construction components, they are the main cause of fatal occupational accidents. These causes of accidents account around 70% of all fatal occupational accidents on construction sites. Another tragic accident occurred in 2023 on a large construction site in Hamburg. In this case, workers fell from a height of around 50 meters when the scaffold on which they were working in a lift shaft within a building collapsed. 4 workers died at the scene. They were buried under scaffolding parts and bricks. A 5th worker died later on his injuries. You can see it on the right. The workers has been tasked with breaking up walls story by story in the lift shaft, which had a total height of approximately 65 meters. The investigation found that the scaffold has been overloaded. Over 400 bricks, you can see it on the left, were recovered during clearance of the rubble. The weight of the bricks alone, 8 tons, was sufficient to overload the scaffold. The investigation shows further faults on the scaffold. Examples like this shows that despite technical safety precautions and comprehensive regulations, human beings continue to be a risk factor in occupational safety and health. Our prevention work needs to address this. At the BG-Bau, the question we face is how we can develop our prevention activity further so that the number of occupational accidents and cases of occupational disease in the construction sector can be reduced sustainably. How can we optimize our internal resources so that we can better target companies with a high need for construction support? Our answer is to do it by presence on construction sites, dialogue with employers, prevention, consultants, and occupational medical and safety services. As a service provider and limited company, the Occupational Medical and Safety Service, the AMD, and its occupational medical centers, about 62 in Germany, are available to answer any questions relating to occupational medicine. For safety-related issues, companies can call upon the expertise of our consulting companies for occupational safety and health. The return on prevention, you know, of in-company preventive occupational safety and health activity in Germany was shown by research project to be 1.6. A value of 1.6 means that every euro, yen, dollar invested in prevention activity comes back with 1.60 euro, yen, or dollar. This shows that occupational safety and health is not merely a cost factor, but also yields a financial benefit. So that is why we offer grants for safe work equipment and measures. Safe work equipment for personnel is an investment in the future. For this reason, the BG-Bau provides financial incentives for safe and health work in the form of occupational safety and health bonuses. Occupational safety and health bonuses are awarded, for example, for products that prevent falls from a high or provide protection against UV radiation or noise, or other occupational accidents and diseases. Our other strategy is a social media strategy, because social networks are used by all groups, but most of all, of course, among the younger ones, and often constitutes the most important information channels. The BG-Bau has been adapting its communication strategy for this situation. We use social media to address occupational safety topics. Facebook and Instagram are increasingly becoming tools for customers' relationship management. This is especially the case on TikTok, our most successful social media channel. This is where we can present and discuss occupational safety topics at eye level with our companies and insured individuals. As an example, I will show you this video, what to do in case of heat stroke.
Das war wieder richtig gut, richtig stark.
Was denn jetzt? Jan, was ist denn los? Was machen wir denn jetzt?
Keine Ahnung.
Was tun bei Hitzschlag? In den Schatten bringen, Beine hochlegen, Rettungsdienst rufen, Tücher mit Wasser tränken und den Körper kühlen. Bleib gesund.
Yes, our TikTok statistic for the BG-Bau, for example, over 35 followers, over 12 million views, over 12,000 comments. Artificial intelligence offers new opportunities in prevention works to identify risks at an early stage. By analyzing large volumes of data, AI can identify patterns that indicate potential hazards. The BG-Bau is taking advantage of this and has already implemented AI tools in the daily work. For example, the BG-Bau employs 500 prevention experts who are responsible for about 600,000 member companies. This ratio makes it impossible for every member company to be visited annually. How can we identify the right companies for an occupational safety and health consultant? Our solution is an AA application which we have developed to support the work of our prevention experts. How does it work? The EI application analyzes the member companies in the BGBau database according to the accident record, past site inspections and other factors. And then highlight companies with a high need for guidance, and the prevention experts decide which companies to prioritize for visited. Last slide. The BGBau for safety in the construction sector. In all its services, the BGBau pays attention both all to meeting the needs for the companies and insured individuals. Through practical solutions, we offer the best possible services for our member companies. The BGBau is there to provide companies which support in critical phases, and consequently, nothing done by the BGBau is an end to itself. The focus always lies upon the companies and the insured individuals. At the same time, the BGBau is facing up to emerging challenges. Demand for digital solutions or digital contacts is on rise, and the new technologies also offer major opportunities for occupational safety and health to reduce the number of occupational accidents further. It will continue to be a modern and competent services provider in the future. This is our holistic prevention approach in Germany by the BGBau. Thank you for your attention.
Michael, thank you very much for this wonderful overview of our BGBau and also for some of our solutions. We have so many solutions, but also a lot of problems. But we are not talking about the problems, we are always talking about solutions. So once again, thank you very much. The next speaker is the second chairman of the executive board of BGBau, Walter Seiler, and he is talking about safety for companies, the German social accident insurance from the employer's perspective. Thank you. It's your floor.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, the flyer is going? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here today and to have the opportunity to present my talk, Safety for Companies, the German Social Accident Insurance from the Employer's Perspective. Excuse me. Look, the German model I will explain to you, and it's too far. Okay, we move. Also, Germany introduced statutory accident insurance in 1884 as part of comprehensive social legislation under the Chancellor of the Reich from Otto von Bismarck. To counter this, a social security system was created. Under this system, workers were to enjoy financial security and in the event of illness and occupational accidents and in old age. The health pensions and accident insurance systems thus came to being. Accident insurance, in particular, was a major step forwards. We have a mutual system we have created, founded entirely by the companies themselves, containing clear provisions for financial security in the event of occupational accidents. Under this system, workers no longer presented claims to their own employers, but to the newly created accident insurance funds. Membership of an accident insurance institution is mandatory for all companies in Germany. In return, the accident insurance relieves employers of their liabilities to their employees under civil law. Over the course of time, the accident insurance funds developed into the German social accident insurance for the name of Berufsgenossenschaften, a mutual solution based on solidarity. BGBau is such a mutual association. That means one for all for one. The system guarantees dependable insurance and collective funding. The German social accident insurance institutions are organized along sectoral lines. The DGUV is responsible in Germany for the construction sector and the construction-related services. The statutory mandate from the DGUV is to use all suitable means to assure the prevention of occupational accidents, occupational diseases, and work-related health hazards, and to restore the health and insured individuals following on occupational accident or disease. In the event of a fatality, dependents are also insured. Pensions are awarded to widows and widowers for the rest of their lives and to surviving children until they reach the age of 27. If an occupational accident or disease occurs, the DGUV provides the insured individual with comprehensive medical treatment and rehabilitation. The objective is always to restore the affected individual's health as far as possible to what it was before the accident. Occupational safety and health is an ethical obligation. That's not disputed, but is also a real benefit for companies, particularly in the context of the German social accident insurance, and this is delivered by the DGUV. The accident insurance institutions is organized in the form of a self-administration body under public law. All major decisions are taken by elected representatives of employers and the insured employees, acting under their own responsibility and not by the state. The autonomous administration is marked by three principles: autonomous administration itself, equal representation, and solidarity between companies. Together, these principles ensure that work is safe. The work of the representative guarantees co-determinations and transparency. The members of the representatives meeting in the growing committee work on a voluntary basis. They are recruited directly from the field and possess sectoral expertise and extensive vocational experience. Yeah. The DGUV costs are around 2.8 billion euros per year. Around 70% of this figure, approximately 1.9 billion euro, is accounted for by benefits such as medical treatment and pensions. Expenditure of around 270 million euros, approximately 10-11%, is measured for preventing accidents and for training courses, safety, technology, and occupational medicine. The administration costs, approximately about 300 million euros, also amount to around 10%, for example, invest in infrastructure. So, what is the alternative in Germany? Finally, I'd like to ask, what could you think? But after all, we could insure against occupational accidents and diseases through private insurers, like, for example, Allianz or AXA. That only gives rise to another question: what private insurer accepts responsibility for preventing accidents and ensuring occupational safety and health? Private insurance companies simply don't offer such services. And the cost of private occupational accident and health insurance would be much higher, because they have more costs in selling the products and so on. We don't have this at the DGUV. That leads to the higher premiums or a reduction in services. The DGUV doesn't have a profit margin. And so our system I think will, from the costs, very effective. I therefore make the bold claim that there is no real alternative to the statutory accident insurance system that we have in Germany. To summarize, the DGUV offers a clear benefits for both the workers and the employers. In turn, the DGUV is real safeguard for employers, founding in the form of premiums makes risks a quantifiable cost item. If an accident happens, everything is taken care for them. The statutory accident insurance even takes effect when occupational safety and health regulation have been violated. No company can function without employers. That should be obvious. And appreciation for employees and the duty of care towards them are therefore particularly important in today's world. Safeguarding employees' health isn't just a duty, it's also an invest in the future. And how we use these technologies to make work safer, healthier, and more efficient, this will be the topic of the further talks in this course of the session. So I thank you for your attention. It has been a pleasure for me to speak to you, and thank you very much.
Dear Walter, thank you very much for your interesting overview of the German accidental insurance. I think it's necessary to know how it works in Germany. And I hope you have seen that there is no alternative to this system at all. And now we are looking forward to the next speaker, Mr. Meinker. Mr. Meinker is an employee, the CEO of the Meinker Bau GmbH limited company in Germany. And it's a great pleasure for me to introduce him because he achieved in this year for the second time a prize from the German Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs for his work in this area. Thank you very much, and it's your stage.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Furthermore, I would like to thank very quickly Professor Nödel to have a chance as a family, as a CEO and an owner of a family-owned company, not very big, from the countryside in Germany. We are not a global player, we are away from that, but still it's unbelievable for me to be here. Thank you, Professor Nödel, that I have a chance to speak here. I would also like to explicitly thank Dr. Toshihiro Fujita, who in 2017 all of a sudden visited us, coming from Japan, going to Lingen. I know that there are very many people in this room who do not know where Lingen is, but Dr. Toshihiro Fujita knows, and he came to visit us because we have some really crucial efforts and crucial activities to improve occupational safety and health. And finally, because we have a very good cooperation, I would also like to thank Mr. Kirsch from DGUV, whom you already know from his previous presentation, because DGUV is a very supportive and crucial player for us. So I named my presentation focusing on two factors. First of all, mindset. And secondly, coming from that mindset, going out into digital solutions. Because mindset alone is not enough, but I'm convinced digital solutions without a mindset do not help at all. They stay on the mobile phone or somewhere else. This will not be of any benefit. So, do I have to shift here? Oh yeah. Very brief introduction. Now you know what I'm talking about. We are just a typical construction company doing all trades of civil engineering. You can see the pictures on the right-hand side. We work all over Germany with a focus there, obviously, but also in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. And we are located in the upper left corner, if you look on the map of Germany. Some figures, because then you can understand the framework and the basis why I'm standing here. It's that we have roughly 1,250 employees in the group, 750 at Mainka alone. We are very happy to have 75% construction staff, blue-collar people, because in the very end, our clients do not want management. They want to have concrete safely and a good quality, or asphalt or whatsoever. Really working with blue-collar workers is very important to me, to us, and I think also for this topic, because it's obvious that the most dangerous work is not the one in the office, it's the one on site. So we have to focus on them. We work primarily in the energy and chemical industry for clients of that. We are 100% family owned, but the most crucial figure you see on the left-hand side, and this refers to the presentation of Mr. Kirsch, because I have to compare myself and my company efforts with the construction industry. And in the construction industry, we have 44 recordable accidents per year in the recent years, very stable pretty much, a little lowering, but very stable, with respect to 1,000 employees. We call that 1,000 employees quota. And our, today, touch wood, we have the last recordable incident occurred 1,226 days ago. So our recordable incident rate for last year is 0. And this is something that really sets us apart. And needless to say that we are, as a team, as a full company, very proud on that. To give you a little help and support how to evaluate our efforts and how to focus on what's happening in Germany, I just show you 2 pictures. As a construction company owner, we don't take pictures of anybody's construction sites. This is not something, I don't want to blame anybody, but this is just the typical way how construction is reported on German television. This is the main broadcasting company that we have in Germany. And if you look precisely, and there are all occupational safety experts in this room, you see by the first glance, the man on the left-hand side, he simply shouldn't stay there. He's not supposed to be there. And on the right-hand side, there is something good and something bad. From out of 2, at least 1 wears a helmet. And this is not how it should be. This is, think of companies like BASF, for example, a chemical industry. No one would ever publish a picture without wearing goggles and a complete personal protection equipment. But this is a framework that we face every day on German construction sites, that it's a male business. No, I'm taking care of my own. I'm doing this for 30 years. And we are, every once in a while you hear sayings like, well, if the crane collapses, the helm will not help. Yeah, what is that? Nobody can live with that. And we are trying to make it really differently. So our central commitment is we work safe or not at all. And now I'm coming from the mindset to the safety and digital tools. This was just a brief orientation to what I'm talking about. I believe firmly that for the first impression, there is no second chance. For the first impression, there is no second chance. So it starts when you enter our office building. Yeah, it's a reception desk on the left-hand side, and there you see, it's an old picture, obviously. There you see it's a little illumination, the days since the last recordable incident, right on the top of the reception desk. Yeah, our meeting rooms on the right-hand side, for example, are not named Paris, Tokyo, New York or something, or Osaka, but they are named goggles, helmet, warning vest, hearing protection, and so on. So for example, on the right-hand side, on the lower picture, you see the room where we do our recruitment interviews. And this room is named helmet. And why is that? Isn't that silly? No, it's not. Because in the Outlook invitation, you have our address, the company name, and the room is named helmet. It's not meeting room, whatever, F, for example. Yeah, and so all of a sudden you talk about occupational safety, but sometimes I have the impression that occupational safety always comes like a strict teacher and you have to follow the rules and this and this. We are trying to make it a little bit through the back door, so to say, and make it so that you all of a sudden talk about it. And obviously, when you enter the whole building, we work safe or not at all. That is the German translation there. They have it in the front desk. And I would like to add this, and I hope that this is recorded. We are on the back of our business cards, we have, everyone in our company has a saying, my goal, 0 incident. And it's countersigned. There's a signature on every business card on the back. Because who is we? We is every one of us. And so my goal, 0 incident. And this also goes to the construction side. This is a supervisor training that we have on the right-hand side. And you see in the picture in the middle, you see black and blue signatures. What is that? This is almost a 1.5 meter sized it's not a paper, it's a plastic PVC foil that is signed. You have it, these also on trucks, for example. This material it is, and all the black ones are printed in. And the signatures, these are the signatures of all supervisors of our company. And we got the original made on the right-hand side. You see, this is where the original is made. You see the black signatures. So every supervisor signed, we work safe or not at all. And to every new construction site, we bring that out with a blue pen. And every worker entering the site has to sign with a blue pen. So if somebody does not work safe, we can say, sorry, you signed that. You gave your commitment. What's happening here? And this is what I mean by we have to have the right mindset. I must say we started with that in 1998, and it took us 25 years to come there, because I think bringing new regulation goes from one day to another. Changing a mindset is really difficult to do. Now, coming to digital tools. First of all, we have a digital CIP card. In German, it's KVP, which means continuous improvement process. And years ago, we have set up our own Mainka app. And this makes it very easy because we want to have the recordings from the site. And this goes back to the mindset. Who is happy to record unsafe situation to the management? Nobody is. Nobody. But in our company, we just turn it the other way around. Everybody knows this pyramid of one fatal accident brings, on every one fatal accident, there come so and so many serious incidents, so many light incidents, and so many unsafe situations. And this goes up by an enormous number. So we want to record the unsafe situations, the recordable incidents on site. Nobody is hurt. It's just an unsafe situation because we can learn from that. And this is one of the core issues in our company. And then we thought we must make it as easy as possible for the people on site. Because our supervisors, they were not born to operate apps. They want to build something. That's something different. If we make it too complicated, even for the young ones, some of them can even teach our IT department, okay? But there are many others who have serious difficulties by operating complicated apps. So what we did was just to set up a Mainka app, and it's very easy. You see it on the left-hand side. By just opening the app, all that is necessary for standard data, like on which side it is, who opens it, who is the project head, who is the supervisor, and so on. This is all filled out automatically. And you just have to make some check marks, for example, what kind of incident it is. And everything else you can just speak into the app, because they don't want, I mean, the supervisors there, they have so much stress. There is delivery coming to site, there is progress to be made, weather is changing and all that stuff. So it has to be very easy. And from that, we have what we call in Germany a stack of hay. So you have to have a stack of hay to find the needles in it from which you can really learn. And I'm very proud that we have about 1,500 of these KVP-Karten or CIP cards every year. There's a lot of rubbish in there. There are a lot of things you cannot learn from, but some are really helpful for us. And we just turn it the other way around. New people, when they hired in our company, often say, "Oh, I don't want to sign this, I don't want to do this because I blame myself." We turn it the other way around. We say, for example, to a project manager, something on your side is wrong. You have 25 people there, and there is not one recordable, not one CIP card that you have presented to us. There must be something wrong. Maybe you have not understood the topic. So we criticize people who do not participate, and we never ever. It's very difficult for the management sometimes, but we never ever criticize on people who give a CIP card. What do we do with the CIP cards and with the learnings? If there is, for example, a CIP card this moment, in July 2025, in August 2025, our specialized department would review these, and in the mandatory training in the next month, in September, there would be a big block besides all the issues from DGUV, the mandatory stuff that we have to bring there as well, but we also bring in the learnings from 2 months before. What happened there? And don't get me wrong, the material from the DGUV is very helpful for us. But it's my strong belief that the learnings for our personnel, when they see their own colleagues, when they see their own site, is much bigger than to have a standard program. But we have to have these data, we have to have it from the site into the office, because in our perception, there's always a big distance between the construction site on the one hand side, where the unsafe situations occur, and the office building in Lingen. And we have to bridge this gap. Secondly, training attendance digitally. We recently introduced that every employee of our company not only wears a helmet, but have a little QR code on top in front of the helmet. So, because we always said, when we do our education, our occupational trainings, safety trainings, how do we record who was there and who was not there? And it was our idea, and this was, by the way, also awarded by the Deutscher Arbeitsschutzpreis, German occupational safety prize that we won for the second time this year. We get rid of these participation lists that nobody is really filling out. And I must say, if the training is done in the rain and you have construction workers who has to sign their participation, and they sign with a big pen over 3 lines, who would really be sure who was there and who was not there? And by that, we can reversely discover who was trained and when. Coming to digital training. We don't want this. We don't want this. I'm here for digital tools, but we have clearly decided we do not go into digital training. We do not go into educational videos, because we are absolutely convinced if the supervisor, who is in hierarchy the one who directs the blue collars, if he's training his colleagues, this is much more intense than just flipping through an app, touching some check marks, and then go back to work. So we are very much focusing on training the supervisors, training the project heads to give a personal training instead of digital training videos. We don't want this. So on the you could see, for example, in the middle picture in the middle, we train how to operate with personal protection equipment against to protect you from falling down. We also have good experience, and we have invented that also in our Mainka app, to have operating instructions right where you need them. Because operating instructions we are convinced that operating instructions do not help when they are somewhere on the file server or in the cloud. So we have invented in our Minecraft app a little solution where you can just scan right in the place where you need it all kind of work processes. It's obvious in German, I apologize for that. We have tried to translate that into the blue ones, but you just scan the QR code, and from there you have a straight access to what kind of material do I have here, what is the risk that we have. This goes also further. This is then, within the app, you go further down and you have a drill down menu, which is very common. I don't need to explain for that. The next thing that is really something that void us very much, it is German regulation that you have to check the residual current devices, the Stromverteiler in German, where you dispatch the electrical power on site every day. And then you go there, I check them by myself, you find a sheet of paper in there, either it has been signed the last time 10 days ago, or once I found one where it was signed for the next 2 months already. Yeah, both is not a very good solution. So what we made was an app within our Minecraft app that you have a QR code within the residual current device, and you can scan it, and it's directly checked who scanned it, when it was scanned. So this is very helpful to bring it down. And you have a protocol like this. My favorite, I must say, is the digital LMRA, last minute risk analysis. Yes, we have it on paper. Yeah, it's a check card format. We have it in various languages because on German construction site, you may imagine, we have big topics of multilingual construction workers, and we have it in Polish, Romanian, and whatsoever. That's nice, it's good to have, you can look at it, you can discuss it, but we thought there must be a better solution. And think of the situation that we always ask ourselves, where is the risk? Who needs to be trained? Where it needs to be checked? Is it in the office or on site? And we invented, it's very easy, but we are very happy with that. In our Minecraft app, we have the following solution. We have a specified QR code in the field where the risky situation is. Sometimes in a big, let's say 5-story building, it's on every story because you have different risks on every story. So what we have is here a situation where you have specified QR codes hanging on site, and right in this place where the risk is, the supervisor scans with the Minecraft app. This goes also for subcontractors, by the way. And there are little check marks where you either have to enter or it's automatically entered what kind of company it is. And then you have some check marks. Is the work safe? Is the scaffold safe, for example? Think of a situation where you left on Friday, then there was heavy rain over the weekend, and on Monday somebody has to check whether the scaffold has still a good stand. And this is, for example, these are the topics that are asked. Do you have working permits with you and so on? But it's not in the office. It's not on the desk. It's right there where the risk is. And I think we have to focus there because otherwise we cannot reduce it. And if your answers are positively, then you have a remark and you can go straight ahead. And if not, there is an information automatically that goes to the Minecraft supervisor or the project head that this person cannot at this moment work there. So what are the results? And the blue line you have seen already in the presentation of Mr. Kirsch, because this is 1,000 the quota of recordable incidents per 1,000 employees in construction industry in Germany. And the red ones, we are very proud that these are ours. And I think this really sets us apart, and we are very proud on that. And besides all this, which is most important from my perspective, secondly, we gained some prizes. On the left-hand side, it's the Deutsche Arbeitsschutzpreis of the last year, 2025. We also got it in 2019, and we're very happy on that. So, summing up, the most crucial thing, mein car, we work safe or not at all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have to congratulate you because you are a Vision Zero company already. And a lot of things you explained here is that what we are promoting all over the world for construction companies, doing it like that, like you do it. And I think the best is the leadership commitment, rule number 1 of Vision Zero. Maybe in future you will use the logo Vision Zero. It's an open source product, and those companies who are following really the Vision Zero strategy and philosophy, you can use it and show up, yes, we are a Vision Zero company. It costs nothing. It costs nothing. I will give you some information later on. It's open source. Okay, the next speaker is Dr. Olga Bogdanova, and she's also the Secretary General of ISSA Construction, and her topic is Lessons Learned from Ukraine's Emergency Response. It's your floor.
Thank you very much. Good morning and konnichiwa. Let me start with my presentation, and my topic today is emergency situations. And I would start with a big respect to Japan, because you expose so many difficult situations caused by natural disasters, and your experience in preparedness is very valuable for all over the world. I see your shelters against tsunami. I see your emergency kits that say are available in all supermarkets. So it's something that we should learn from you, because now with climate change, more and more countries will expose emergency situations, and you are very welcome to share your example. But my role today is just to summarize experience of my country and try to say to everyone that zero accident is possible even in emergency situation. So what is emergency actually? I call it 3U, like unexpected, unpleasant, and we all require urgent response. And why we as construction, why we are dealing with emergency situations? Because in every emergency, first, as far as we have some ruination, we need to build something new. We need to build some bridges or some fences or some blocks. And that means that constructions are always in the first line in every emergency situation. So that's why we took it as our responsibility to deal with this Vision Zero for emergency situations. I would say from my 18-hour experience as health and safety practitioner and 8-hour experience as speaker in different international conferences. So always there are people in the room, they say, no, zero accidents, it's impossible. There are so many unexpected situations, but but when we talk about emergency, so more and more people don't trust you. They say no, in emergency, more impossible, zero. But from my experience of 2 companies that I working with in Ukraine, they had severe ruinations, but they had zero accident, and it was not just a magic, it was hard work. As the same with normal our construction, there are sites with zero accidents, zero fatal accidents, and a great respect to all of them. You have already seen one today. So let's take these 7 golden rules that you have. I'm sure that you know all of them. Let's take them and try to implement some unexpected situations. And first of all, I would start with leadership, because it's a decision of a leader of the team to stop work when you hear an alarm. And there are such situations when you think, no, there are so many alarms, I would continue my work, nothing happened before. But as usual, no, you should not be tired of these alarms. And moreover, you should do your shelters, your place where you can wait for a safe time, convenient for people. And now we more and more have new types of shelters. They are mobile, they are quickly erected, they are, let's say, blocked, easily to construct, and that means that you can set them everywhere where people need. And also it's about when this emergency situation becomes our new normality, while for example, with extreme hot temperature. And also there is a decision of one person that we stop work or we make breaks. It seems that we lose money or lose productivity, but in reality we save our people and we make them work more efficient in the future. So leadership, it's the first, it's a core. Then another about identification of hazards. Up to now, just an alarm, it's not enough. Really, it's important to split which type of alarms do you have, which type of danger, because people want to know exactly what type of hazards they can be exposed, and our digitalization tools now allow to do it. Another thing is about number. So during our risk assessment before our emergency crisis, so we were thinking about evacuation, like about something, you take your luggage and you go away to a safe place. But if we would be more attentive, we would understand. There is a very famous picture of Kharkiv, that 1 million population city, and of course in time of emergency, half of this population wanted to be evacuated at once. So it's 500,000 people. That means that we need to take into account figures when we prepare ourselves to emergencies. Another thing, it's about targets for emergencies. So it's about setting targets very flexible. So we need to have a system where we can change our targets very quickly. That means, for example, we need, it's something that I also think we can learn from Japan. Your system of small supermarkets, it's not just convenient, it's also about preparedness to emergency situation. You just split your supply, you dispense more and more necessities that people require in time when they cannot reach some big stores. And it's the same with energy, like diesel generators or something, and the same like with medicine. In all construction sites, it's good just to not have just one kit, first aid kit, but everyone should have it. About system of health and safety, how to make it non-bureaucratic. It's more than important in case of emergency. So we have like labor consultancy in electronic view, and even probably you have did before, but we didn't have. We just created during this time, and also very important to have a map where is a state emergency service is available and where is not. And you can see here on the map, it's created by our state emergency service. So there is a map in our region, and these red zones, it means that there are no, because of mountains or lakes or lakes or some forests, there are people, but there are no possibility to reach with emergency service. In this case, they use volunteers. Volunteers really are helpful, but of course preparedness to prepare these teams of volunteers where they are and how quickly they can reach the areas where state emergency cannot act. It's also a good thing to prepare before the emergency. About technologies, I would say that we have talked a lot yesterday as well about machinery without drivers, about drones and protection, anti-drone system, about remote work on construction site. But it's not just about efficiency, it's also about emergency preparedness, because in this case we can take off people from danger zones. And you are very welcome with your system to welcome to Ukraine, because now it's a huge area where you can experiment, make a lot of experiments with such technologies. As the rule number 6, improve qualifications, your system should be ready for very new knowledge, because in emergency new information come again and again. And in our case, for example, asbestos was, I know that it's prohibited in most countries, but for example, for us it was prohibited just 2 years ago, and no one have idea what to do with that. And that's why we are we require a lot of new information. So systems should be prepared for providing more new information, as well as mental health. Of course, it's a problem, and more than before, and spread the knowledge, new knowledge system should be ready beforehand, as well as demining and demolition. But another interesting thing that people in emergencies, they want to think about the future, about better future, and that's why also important to give them opportunity to have long study. And in our case, we created a Vision Zero system programs for universities, where students can, for each rule, suggest their ideas how they can save lives. Also, regarding knowledge, it's important to have reliable sources. In our case, it's a source of Prevention Forum Plus. It's a knowledge platform that was created with social security organizations from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Italy, and it's free of charge. And the good thing is it is AI based multi-language translation. So you can go there, you can find the instruction from BGUV, and you can translate it into Japan Japanese language and easily use it. So it's reliable sources that you can use very quickly. And also it's important, as despite of multiple long study, some simple pictures without words in time of emergency, very, very important for people, like small check, safety check prepared by DGUV, and this safety and health pictures, what is good, what is not, prepared by ISSA Construction, available, and just we also need to continue with that. Investing in people, I would show in some small examples. One is not just, you can see it's from the school, it's a shelter, but to make our children not afraid of going to shelter. So it looked like Hobbit house, and inside there is a library, and that's why they are happy to go. They're not scared. It's one thing. Another thing, it's our teenagers. They always want to be brave, and we don't react on alarms. We are not afraid, but indeed real brave people, they stop work, they go to study, they go to shelters. And it's important for well-being, because in time when our children are in safe situations, so our employees can work and don't worry about them. Another that we didn't expect, it's people with disabilities, injured people. We have such a big number, and they don't want to stay at home. They want to work further. So we have a huge demand of, for example, special work clothes for such people. So more people with disabilities will work in the future. And so the development of such technologies is very, very welcome and in demand during and after emergency situations. So it's, let's say, for the 7 golden rules, like some hints, but it's just an idea. I do invite you to continue this work, to put together all knowledge that we have, because they will be in demand all over the world. And if you want to be, let's say, to link to what's trending nowadays in construction or in emergency, you are very welcome to join our ISSA Construction section of ISSA, where I'm General Secretary and Professor Karl-Heinz Notel is President. And you have information on your tables. So thank you very much for your attention. Arigato.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Bogdanova. It was a pleasure to listen to your presentation. Sorry. It is very important for us to know that we have to prepare for these critical situations, always, not only in really hard times, but ever when we are at work, in our homes, and all around. Thank you. Now I have the great pleasure to announce Mr. Benjamin Reiser. He's the CEO of the information company, an IT company from the DGUV, and he will talk to us about innovation with AI, optimizing social security systems and construction safety through intelligent technology. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthias. Yeah, Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome from me too. Good morning, konnichiwa, and thank you for having me here and for being given the opportunity to add this panel the perspective of an IT service provider that we are. So we've heard a lot of our business, of the construction industry, and we are an IT service provider specialized on the statutory accident insurance. And so, yeah, let's have a look in the slides. You already have known us now since Michael Kirsch and also Walter Seiler showed you who we are. So in general, we are 9 carriers of the statutory accident insurance in Germany. And when it comes to IT, 7 of those joined their forces lately. So we are convinced that when it comes to IT, we should no longer everybody making his own projects, his own products. So we should share our resources, our activities to work in corporations. And as you can see, we represent a quite large group of the system here. We have our shareholders, the main shareholder, the BGBau, and also the BGN and BGRCE for mining also and food industry, and our partners in the so-called 7 of 9 corporation, because we are 7 carriers of the statutory insurance of 9. So what challenges do we face? So what actually the issues we're working on? The first sign, you know these numbers already because Michael Kirsch showed you this. So building sites, construction sites are still dangerous places after all. And we must do everything to avoid these numbers. So the fatalities of and 76 people lost their lives in 2023, all personal tragedies, and we must do so by inspecting, as Michael Kirsch already told you. So the work for inspection sites is crucial, is very important. And so we have to equip our inspectors with the latest tools, with modern, innovative tools and products. And it's not only about the carrying out such an inspection, it's also the planning and after work, the documentation and things like the deficit reports that we are documenting afterwards. So it's the whole life cycle we will support, or we try to support with our products. And the second challenge we are working on, as you all know, is the demographic effect. Best regards from this effect also, because not only in Germany, in all industrialized societies, we have this issue that nowadays we are facing that we are getting more and more people getting into pensions, and we will not be able to replace the inspectors and all the other workers in the same amount. So as you can see, we are running into some turning point where we are no longer able to work as we are used to have. So the personal intensive cases, the caseworks also should be more process automized then. So what are we taking? Which approaches are we taking? So actually we are working in 2 sides. So the one side goes to the outside, if you want. So that is what I'm going to show you later, the products, some of them you already know, that we are giving our inspectors. So these are all meant to fulfill and enhance our mission 0, so 0 accidents. We pursue this mission, increase the effectiveness of our inspectors, and equip them with modern tools, all we can do about this case. And the other approach goes to the inside. It goes to the caseworkers, the classical clerical work, which is the process working and the case working. And as I said before, we should counteract the demographic effects by highly automate these processes and using digitalization and possibilities wherever we can. So it's also like a mission 0. It's a different mission 0. It's about no paper, no waiting times, and a highly efficient administration on point. They both share the approach that we use AI platforms, corporations, as I carried out, and common architectures, so technical architectures, so that we are able to modularize our core systems and work much more into corporations and share our forces. So I'd like to give you a brief overview what we are working on. So one important thing is our AI platform that we use or we have developed, and a number of products and projects we're working on are thereby taken place. So we can have modular and already produced AI solutions, which makes it easy to have a newly AI product at a fingertip, or quite easy. And we share forces also, as you can see on the right side is a technical picture, but you can see we share the forces of the different suppliers that we have in our corporation, and all together in one Git, so that we also share our forces. So just a quick overview about some of the solutions we are working on. So the first one is going into data-driven decision-making and the inspections. One quite famous product we also won prizes and so on is that we have an AI accident prevention tool that is trying to predict accidents before they happen. That gives us an overview about the statistical and all the big data we are gathered during the last decades. And there is a hint, or at least some tip for the inspection person to go to this building site, to go to this company. And as Michael Kirsch also told you before, this product really increased our rate and made it more efficient to go to the right places for the construction sites. So the other thing we are having is a 360 view. So when the inspection person is on a construction site, all informations are at a fingertip. That, well, sounds like a no-brainer, but in fact, if you are on the construction site and you need to have all the information, all the previously inspections and all accidents happened before and so on, so you are equipped with a big data approach, and you can do data-driven decision making. So another thing which is quite fancy is our inspection assistant. It's well, in former times, inspectors used to run around with clipboards, yeah, you know this, and have a lot of paper with him. And we replaced this afterwards with iPads or with convertible notebooks, still quite handy, and a screen you have to work on. But our new app is a mobile app where the inspection person can speak into, and all the deficit reports are automatically generated and automatically been found in the right catalog and made the deficit report super easy. So it's already done, and you don't have to documentate afterwards for a long time. You can also add a picture, and so actually the inspector has more time for talking to the people, to visiting, in fact, the building site, than to concentrate on documentation. And the good thing is that we not only use this in the construction industry, so in DGUV, so our partners, as you can see on the right side, are already using this also, so in the big trade and distribution or in the traffic. So there are different industries, but we use the specific deficit catalogs to equip the app and make it easy for using or carrying out inspections. So the next thing is about AI, is all about data. Data is used for optimizing the casework and the interaction with customers. So we have Gen AI assistants that browse the files, that browse information at a fingertip. And the other one is a UV Jet GPT or UV GPT, and that can also is inside the caseworking, meant to share information between departments and between the inspectors and the caseworkers, so that they are really fast and more efficient when it comes to caseworking or to asking questions or what could be the next step to be. Then we also have, and this is quite a cool thing, we are using AI or XR in this case, XR trainings for having digital twins for building sites, and also have trainings for the inspectors. They can use this on either the construction site or going to the companies and having carried out trainings and could then in a immerse training like the realistic scaffold training, for instance, or how to run around for a digger or so. So you can actually use this for a quite impressive and immersive experience that can be done for the workers. It's a quite cool thing, actually. We demonstrated the last days. Maybe one of you has been there. It was quite impressive. And also we have digital twins from big building sites. This is for the planning process quite important, but also if it comes to carrying out inspections, and it's ideal for inspection already. So where you have to put on a net, for instance, or barriers or something like that. So we can use this also in the virtual reality then. So, and the next really important thing we are working on is that we focus on our portals. So nowadays our portals are much more like windows to the classical work process, the case working process. But when it comes to digital first, when it comes to redesigning also the communication to our insured persons and companies, we would like to have the portal being designed end to end, and also like in self-service scenarios, so that people have their information at the fingertips, and it's modular build up. It's multi-channel, like on an iPhone or on a smartphone, as well as on a laptop. It's used with AI as well. Yeah, we have a chatbot, so people find the information very quick, very soon. So it's very intuitive to use. So actually, we are convinced that this is the place to be when it comes to to our future administration. So everything has to be digital first then. And as I said before, when you look inside, so they are highly still repetitive case working that could be easily or quite easily been made automatically. And this is what we are working on. So we can either automatically the whole process or just simple steps, always together with the development of the organization, where the peoples are available. So it's not only the technique in this case, so it's also about the organization, which has to develop in the same time then. Yeah, and then comes one more thing. I think we have a lot of solutions already, but we are working on even more products. So we have a pipeline made with our business customers to have, it's only in German here, but you can see we have a lot of ideas and a lot of products that we are about to, so either for the internal case working or for the inspectors on the construction sites. And with this AI platform I showed you, we are able to provide the solution quite easy, quite fast, and modular, so we don't have to redesign the whole process, the whole product. And as I said before, we are not only working for the BGBau, we are working for all these other carriers, and they have IT service providers partially as well. So we are joining forces also on this case. And on the left, you can see which is like a architectural vision or a mission, as you can see. So we are step by step turning our business solutions, our business applications into a microservice infrastructure, so that all the AI tools you see are just here on the upper part. And so we transform our business solutions step by step into this common architecture. And on the bottom side, you can see that we also share forces when it comes to operating, like having a common data center, having common cloud strategies, and having teams together. So we join forces also on this case. Interoperable, cloud native, all these buzzwords. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you very much for having been the opportunity to show you our solutions, and I'm looking forward for questions later on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Benjamin. I think you showed how artificial intelligence can help us to improve health and safety at the workplace. And as Mr. Meinker said, artificial intelligence is a tool, but we also need the face-to-face meetings, instructions, but it is a tool, and a very effective tool, and if we use it as a tool, it is helpful. We now come to the last speaker today. It's Mr. Stein, Section Manager, Industrial Security at DGUV. And the topic is the hidden danger behind crane remote controls. And I think it's a very, very interesting topic. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you for the kind introduction and also for invitation. Konnichiwa and good day, everyone. Today, I will show you a few slides I've never shown before because at INAIL, when we met Professor Neutel and I just had one slide about this as a small peek into the work in our laboratory. And afterwards, we discussed about that and how important it is for the construction section. And therefore, I elaborated something for you. And also at the booth, down in the trade fair hall, we have a small setup with a real crane remote control where we can explain hands-on what happens here. Because we think the hands-on experience cannot be exchanged by anything else. That's more than old slides, and that's the reason why we always try to build up real setups. Yeah, it all started with a report by Trend Micro Research, a team of white hat hackers. They research for security issues, and that time they had a peek into the remote controls of cranes. And this report is about 80 pages long. It was published in 2019, and it showed the overview of the American market. And they found there are critical issues in most of the devices. And of course, we ask ourselves, is the situation same for Europe and for other countries? And what about safety-related remote controls, which are not for cranes, but for example, for artificial firework, for big gates, for whatever? And first of all, we can summarize that if we have a safety system and it has any interface, then we need not only safety, but also security. So we have a few technical and organizational challenges. We have to ask ourselves, are vulnerabilities of industrial remote controls a safety issue? And if so, is it a real-world problem in the industry, or is it just a thought experiment? Is it just something very, very theoretical? And the next question is, if I find out that the crane remote control is so insecure or another remote control has a problem, how can I report it and whom? How can I find out? Who should I tell this? And how can I, as the user, get information that my product is unsecure? So we need a rapid communication, because in the past we learned that it takes more than half a year between there was a report and the user knows it. And that's by far too slow. So first of all, in order to find out, is it just a thought experiment or is the danger imminent? We performed a survey and we asked about 100 different companies whether they use controllers in their company that have a connection somehow over radio or network, and if it could hurt people. And in the companies, about 20%, they don't have any items which are connected. Let's say this could be they are only working with a hammer or only with scissors, so there is nothing to hack. But then in the second part, we have 34% of companies who have devices and work tools which are linked somehow over radio or network, but they cannot be any injuries. For example, a coffee machine today is networked, and if this is hacked, it doesn't work anymore. Well, this is somehow dangerous, but not in our view. But we still have 43% of companies where we have controllers and injuries are possible. And part of these are companies who also use industrial cranes with remote controls. And if the remote control allows that everybody steers the crane and the load is lowered while people are standing below it, or it's moved against a ladder and people fall down, this can be deadly. So here you see a picture of our security laboratory. It's our test laboratory. We can perform pen tests there, and it's one of the leading laboratories in Germany. We work there in when the insurances, the accident insurances in Germany have a task for us. We work for them, and there we tested now the industrial cranes and also pyrotechnic ignition systems. And we found out that even for the European market, we can confirm the situation is critical, and about 50% of the tested products are very easy to hack, and some you don't even have to hack because everything is open, no encryption, no passwords. You just have to see what is sent, copy, paste, and send again. And that was very shocking. And we also look at the remote controls for AGVs, automated guided vehicles. These are the big platforms moving boxes up to containers along harbors or in markets for construction material when you have to move tons of concrete bags. And this is very dangerous too if they are hackable. And we also found out that there's no communication between the manufacturer and the user. Once it's sold, the link is lost, and there is at the moment hardly any chance to get the information to the user. And now I want to show you something we've never shown before. I recorded a movie for you to show how is this attack be done with the tools you saw on the table. Here we see the frequency scan, and now we make a live hack. And just look on the time, how quick is it's done, and we are doing it very slow so you can see it. We start the recorder. Now we can see on the right bottom part, the more the signal kind of sending emergency stop is not pushed from the crane remote control. Now we center the frequency of the sender. We immediately find out what is the frequency. Here it's 433 megahertz. We have no knowledge about the crane before. And after 20 seconds, we have the precise frequency. And now we start recording. We make some settings so the signal has a good quality. On the right side, you see the ones and zeros, how they're recorded from the crane remote control. And already we have now the whole signal as a file. And this file includes now some movement, and emergency stop is not pushed. We could open it now and make a deeper analysis on the content of the signal and see all the ones and zeros. And then if one of the, let's say, 16 buttons of the remote control was never pushed, we can think, well, which button could be according to the code, and even simulate codes that we did not know before and couldn't record. So now we press send, and now we already can take over the crane. That was everything. Now we already steer the crane while the crane was stopped with the emergency stop button, and we reactivated the crane and it was moving. And that's a thing of less than 5 minutes. And if you see how easy it is, everybody can do it. And it's important for the manufacturers to know how to prevent it, and it's a real topic. And I always say, people look at the server, they look at the USB stick if it comes about security, but they totally forget about the niche. The small hidden things. It's a climate system, it's a crane, it's all the hidden things you have to look at, because nobody looks there ever. And we have in October in Germany a seminar, and all manufacturers are allowed to join the seminar and get a hands-on training with the real hacking tools for all the controllers they have and produce. And they get also a training for the new European legislation on security. Yeah, that is what it would look like. We have here the person on the construction site with the remote control pushed the emergency stop button. A bad guy with a fake remote control recorded the signals earlier and now provokes a dangerous accident with the goal that the construction site will be locked down for a while because there was a deadly accident, and they will run out of time and will not get a contract for this construction company anymore. And the other company could take over or could get better jobs done. Yeah, we hope that this will not happen in the future, but we do not know if it's not already happening, because we hardly have any data about security issues. First of all, you do not know if it was a technical fault or a person has pushed the wrong button. Nothing is recorded at the moment, and there are no fingerprints, nothing. We know about accidents that couldn't be explained, but there hasn't been any investigation according to security. And we are also working with the German and also in overseas and other countries with the security institution of the government, and they also have hardly any data. This is a big problem. It will change soon, as European legislation requires that all controllers will have to log when they are built according to the new machinery regulation. There will be a logging for safety-related things, but that's the future. We can expect this in 2 years and going on, and then we will have products on the market that will provide data after an accident. And then we know what happened. There will be some ways of follow-up. We can meet at the booth downstairs. They can see this demonstrator. Also, I want to emphasize that we are working in the standardization, and also we are writing a guideline for the new machinery regulation. And so we support the European legislation to have secure solutions that are also helpful for the manufacturers and the users in the same hand. Then, for the communication, we boost something that I will explain later. It's a security TXT. That's the buzzword you should remember. And we think that it's important to have communication also translate in different languages. With the QR codes, you can find all the documents, And I also will add all the links on LinkedIn. There's one announcement of the session, and in the comments for all talks, you can add the links and additional information, so all visitors have nice set of additional information on the session. So how can we communicate? You remember in the beginning, it was one of the big problems. Now I have a product like a crane remote control. It has a security issue. And the first big problem is, how can I tell the manufacturer of the remote control that there's an issue? Because he doesn't know. And I found it out, but have no contact. And if I send it just to the info@ email address, if you attended to the session yesterday where I presented a problem, a friend of mine found a security issue in a company and tried to find the right person, send it to the info@, and they replied, no, everything is fine for us, because info@ is responded by the PR manager. And that repeated for 6 months. And finally, he got the right contact. And then they were so glad that they not only fixed the problem, but also offered him a permanent position, because a person so smart finding things like that, they are more than wanted in every company. And also, if the person is so loyal to the company and does not sell this issue on the black market or to other companies to make any trouble, then it's the best employee. And the security TXT file has some more benefits than just providing an emergency contact. It is also extendable with something that we will explain in the afternoon. It's a session in the ISSA section, machinery safety. And there we will see how we can extend this one also for the integrator, for the user, and so on. And you can get automatically as a user information. I own a crane remote control version 1.6, and this has an issue. It needs an update to 1.7 because of, and so on. And you don't have to wait months. You get this immediately. And that's the speed we need now to prevent that the bad guys are faster than we are. And now it's time to have a short look at the movie. This is a movie we prepared for the CEO, for the decision maker in the company. And we think, and also in Japan, the security government institution thinks, every company should have the emergency contact. So if you are working in the construction area, a manufacturer, just, I don't know, any company, then you can provide this contact. And even just your data is lost and is in the darknet, if your accounting system is publicly available, or your databases, or let's say Phoenix also, I think, will have such an emergency contact to be contacted if their AI system is leaking data. In Germany, the BSI, I know, is really using this information, and same for Japan. So now we will have Japanese audio.
セキュリティの脆弱性を持つ産業用制御システムは危険です。これらは設計やプログラミングのミスによって引き起こされます。エラーは全く異なる制御システムにも影響を及ぼす可能性があります。例えば、複雑な産業用システムから工作機械や空調システムまでです。ネットワーク化された産業用制御システムへの攻撃は、経済的な損害を与えるだけでなく、従業員の健康にも影響を与える可能性があります。セキュリティの脆弱性は迅速に発見し、解決する必要があります。現実には致命的な脆弱性が発見されても、社内の誰に責任があり、誰に通知する必要があるのかが明確でないことが多いものです。これが明確になるまでセキュリティギャップは存在し続けます。プラントや機械は脆弱なままです。したがって全ての会社は固定した連絡担当者を任命し、その連絡先の詳細が簡単に分かるようにすべきです。国際規格 RFC9116 は簡単な解決策を提供し無料で利用できます。この企画では security.txt という名前のファイルを定義しており、標準化された場所に保存され、人間も機械も読むことができます。このファイルのアドレスは世界中のセキュリティ研究者や監督機関に知られており、緊急時にはすぐに取り出すことができます。会社のウェブサイトには悪影響はありません。迅速なアクセスはセキュリティ管理の重要な要素です。
And this video is available online in various languages. You can have it also in German, Dutch, English, Japanese, Czech, and we just agreed that Ukrainian language would be perfect too. And if you know any language that is missing and you want to provide translation, we are very glad for that. So let me sum up what we talked about. The laboratory from the IFA found out that about 50% of the companies, or no, 40% of the companies have dangerous networked or connected devices. About 50% of the remote controls of cranes that we investigated were unsecure. And you as a company should act now and provide this emergency contact as explained in the movie. That is a very simple step. It just takes 5 minutes, doesn't cost anything, and there is no negative side effect, absolutely no negative side effect. And for our Japanese guests here, I want to emphasize that JP CERT, which is an institution here in Japan for security, working together with the government or partly governmental, they also suggest that it's a very important thing to have it. If you scan the QR code, you get to the block entry by JP CERT. With this, I'm at my end of the talk. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? Yeah, please. Please use the microphone or I repeat the question. Yeah.
Oh, good morning. I'm Vincent from the Occupational Safety and Health Council in Hong Kong. And thank you for your presentation. It is comprehensive and inspiring. I have a question because now in Hong Kong, we have used the remote control. But before that, we use it for the lorry-mounted crane for that kind of, because of the same level, it's quite difficult to use. But now we try to extend the remote control system to the tower crane. As you know that in Hong Kong, there are lots of the high-rise building. So for each tower crane, maybe more than 50 or 60 story of height of the buildings. So I would like to know for the design, because now we have also some meeting with the crane suppliers, but they mentioned to me that quite difficult because you know that for such a high of a tower crane, they are say that there may be a latency. Say for example for the network or the signal, because of the far away, then they are afraid that if there is a latency, then it will affect, because you know that the operators just sit in the office, look at the monitor, and then he do the remote control of the tower crane. But if there is a latency in the signal, then it will be problem. And also, they also ask whether we can have a fail-safe system, because we rely on the signals or we rely on the sensors. But if it fail, can there a fail-safe system to support it? So I want to listen. I want to consult your experience on how to extend our remote control to the tower crane. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. It sounds scary what you describe. We have prepared in our laboratory for exactly this situation, a setup to test how could we increase the security of the remote control of cranes and also not limit the limit the distance between the two sender and receiver parts. In our setup, we use WireGuard, which is a kind of VPN. You know VPN when you log in with your notebook in the company. but it's much more powerful and has very limited code length, just 4,000 lines of code, and therefore it can be used for industrial controllers. It's extremely performant and makes no latency. And that's very important. We made tests with security protocols and tested if the latency is low enough under high load that the emergency stop will not automatically be triggered, because if you have latency, it's exactly as you said, then everything stops and it doesn't work. And then people try to defeat things because the progress should go on and dangerous things are expectable. You have to foresee that really dangerous things happen. And what you should do is, first of all, communicate with the technical people on site this crane report. I can share the file with you so they know about the dangers. I can provide you the output from our laboratory with this encrypted protocol. And this encrypted protocol has another benefit. If you have, for example, a controlled vehicle on the construction site, like a crane, but could be also everything else, then you can use two different technologies like 5G mobile phone and Wi-Fi. And if one of both signals is distorted, the other will immediately drop in. And this works. We have this as a working setup at our place, and we would be glad to show it to you. So thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Stein, that was a very interesting chart you had here. We were listening to you very close and interested. It's not, I did not know that it could be so dangerous with remote controls at trains. One more, we had to see this. I hope there will not happen any accidents with this, not in the way you described it. After all those interesting presentations, we have to thank you to all the speakers in this room and you as an interested audience. Thank you. It was a great pleasure for us taking you through this panel. We had a close look at the opportunities of safety, health, and well-being at construction industries, especially in Germany. We learned about the German social accident in insurance and the problems that we find on construction sites. But there are many ways to prevent accidents and occupational diseases. As especially Mr. Meinka and Ms. Bordanova showed us, if you have a clear focus on the people you are working with, there is a way to be prepared for critical situations. We'd like to thank our hosts here in Osaka for the opportunity to of listening to the speakers here today, making the world a better place with Vision Zero at construction sites. Thank you, Professor Noether, for the organization of this panel. It was a big pleasure to guide you through this morning. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye. Domo arigato. There's a word, a hand.
That's
working.
I'd like to show my appreciation all the speakers today. This is a very historic moment for us on the occasion of this global initiative for safety, health, and well-being at EXPO 2025 and beyond. Many people gathered to Osaka Expo, unbelievably 57 countries and regions. This initiative started by the grassroots movement 2.5 years ago. And at that time, Winston was there when we started. We didn't expect growing, such a nice, scale like this. Yesterday, we had a baton handover ceremony at Expo Hall. And as you know, in year 2030, the next Expo will be held in Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And they accepted to host the next global initiative, Safety, Health, and Well-being there. Of course, they need an official approval from the top management later, but it's almost fixed. That's why this initiative continue. And I personally would like to appreciate for German delegation, because I'm a robot engineer, robot safety engineer. So IFA is always supported us to learn the German way of thinking. I highly respect German way of doing and thinking. And in this occasion, we could learn about the construction industry for the first time. So I really think this is a new type of co-creation opportunity, to learn the other sectors, which I have never experienced. So I'd like all of you, the participants as well, to continue this type of inspiring and stimulating each other, not wait 5 years up to Riyadh, but we can meet more often and openly. So thank you very much for your visit in Japan. Thank you.